You're listening to SM Media. Hi, folks, and welcome to the latest episode of the SM Media East of Scotland football show. I am Scotland Pike. It is always a pleasure to be your host, and I'm looking forward to get back into talking about all things East of Scotland. Probably a quiet week in terms of league action, but still plenty of headlines. It's a pleasure to welcome this week's special guest. It is a delight to be joined by the manager of Oakley United, Peter Goldie.
Cheers for having me, Scott. Looking forward to it, mate.
It's a pleasure, as I say. Obviously, I spoke to you last week about coming on the show, and obviously we've got it arranged, so it is really the pleasure's all mine to have you on. Mate, just in terms of where kind of Oakley are at the moment, obviously you look at the kind of league tables over the past couple of seasons, and yeah, I think obviously the first time they'll catch people's eye was back-to-back relegations.
Yeah.
This season, though, like the wages have started, 20 points for 12 games, sitting in eighth place. Like, just talk a wee bit about how the past couple of years have been at the club and how kind of good it is to kind of be in a kind of positive position for the first time in a couple of seasons. Because I remember when the conferences started, Oakley won the league really impressively and get promoted. What kind of happened? And then, like, in the kind of last two seasons?
So we'll go back to winning the league. So I'd rejoined the club, I think it was 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I come into the club as head of youth, and I was running the under-18s team at the time, looking to obviously start the under-20s. And I got involved with the first team as a coach, and it was fantastic. Great squad of players. Preston pushed us all the way. I think Preston were favourite to win the league. I think they had 6 games in hand over us. We were 6 points clear. And so it went into the last day of the season and we won the league. And to be honest, wouldn't have changed it for the world. But the last 2 years has been tough going. I'm not going to lie. It has been tough going. We went into the Premier League with a restructure. And squad-wise, budget-wise, we were just not in a position to compete week in, week out. The lads gave a good account of themselves in the league. Mm-hmm. There was games there where we competed, but you're just looking for that wee bit of quality every week, and it was too big a step, to be honest, mate.
And then obviously kind of coming down to the first division, and you look at the kind of first division last season, there's a lot of really good sides in it who have obviously went up and already. Like you look at who's went up so far, and they're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Whitburn, Dunny Pace, there's a few other kind of sides that really catch the eye. Obviously, last season they didn't go up. Camelin, Newton Grange, just for an example. Like, was the first division just as hard?
It was probably harder, to be honest, because the expectations on you to go and probably win games because we'd competed so well in the Premier. Although you weren't getting results, the performances were there. Mm-hmm. Then obviously it was like it's been a rebuild of the squad. We had a lot of young players coming through for the under-20s, so you're trying to bring them up to speed, playing at men's level, and it's been a hard transition. But like this year, I seem to be getting the rewards. Like the last 2 years have been difficult. I'm not going to lie, it has been difficult. But when you stick in and you keep going, the rewards will eventually come. And we've proven that this season with the teams that you mentioned there. We beat Dunny Pace at home 3-1 in the cup after extra time. And we played Whitburn 2 weeks ago and we lost on penalties. And we pushed them all the way, to be honest. I think we're probably a better team, to be fair. I think we deserve to go through. And you've probably seen the clip on social media, the penalty that gets retaken, sudden death and extra time. And it's just, it was hard to take for the boys. But overall, like this season, I couldn't ask for a better start. We've drew a few games, but I mean, I think we've played 18 games and we've lost twice.
Yeah,
and we lost twice on penalties. So the improvement's definitely there, and it's always been there. That's been the case. It's been a change of mindset for the lads this year. Once you get into that winning habit, it's habit. When you're losing, it's a habit.
Yeah, and how important is it, obviously, that as a club, like when you're kind of seeing a bit of free fall for a couple of seasons, like how important was it for the club to in the summer to bring a bit of stability, to give a bit of patience more than anything? Because as you say, there was
So
times
that,
last season, obviously there was results there that caught the eye, but it
yeah,
maybe just was the consistency. Like how important was the summer to just kind of reset and get a plan in place to kind of try and kind of get a bit
to be
of
honest,
focus this year?
it was basically, let's see where we're sitting after 6 games this season,
Okay.
reevaluate, see what's happening. The committee and that have been really good with us. They gave us time. We had a plan in place when I came over from Stuart.
Yeah.
Stuart obviously left, knowing that we were going into the Premier League. Budget wise, wasn't meeting his expectations. Obviously, he knew how difficult it was going to be. And when the chance came up for me to take over, it was kind of a no-brainer. Being for the village, playing for the club for a number of years, to have an opportunity to go and coach at that level at my age was an opportunity that I couldn't really turn down.
Mm-hmm.
And in hindsight, it's one that's it maybe come a wee bit too soon, but I'm starting to get the rewards now with the work and effort that's went in.
Yeah, and the squad obviously as well. Like there's good players in that squad, and you look at other sides in the league, and we'll get into the kind of competitiveness of the division in a moment. But like I'm looking at the likes, I've got the kind of list of goal scorers up here as well. Ryan Cowy's had an excellent start to the season. Like how important are
Yeah.
kind of players like him and your kind of experienced boys as well to kind of get that
So
balance in the squad?
Ryan Ryan's been a great signing for us. Obviously, he knows where the net is.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing. And when you're scoring goals, the team's then confident.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing was probably bringing in another goalkeeper.
Okay.
So we signed Blair Gallagher on loan for Whitburn. So Blair was Whitburn's kind of number two.
Okay.
Come through their under 20s, so he's quite young as well. And we've got Josh Irvin, who is obviously our keeper. That's only 19. You forget how young Josh is, and he's played the majority of games in the Premier League. Then he had a tough season last season, so for him, he's still learning as well. But he needed somebody to go and push him. Then having that competition for places has definitely helped. Bringing in another goalkeeper that's probably a wee bit more confident, coming for crosses and stuff. Them training together has definitely helped. It's brung Josh on, and it's definitely improved us defensively, bringing Blair in. And you know yourself, you've got a goalkeeper that's confident, your back four's then confident,
Yeah.
you're not conceding as much. If you're scoring goals, you're going to win games. So it's kind of been a whole effort across the park. It's not just Ryan's come in, and Ryan's been great for us scoring goals, but defensively we've kind of shut up shop as well, and that's been massive.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that jumps kind of catches the eye when you see the kind of results here. I've got the results in front of me. Unbeaten at home in the league. How important is that?
Frightening, frightening. That's been one of the biggest things that's probably been the turning point this season. Been unbeaten in the league, and I say that to the guys every week. Every week we're at home. That's the message. Let's keep this record, getting this unbeaten home record going, because like when I played there, it was people hated coming to Oakley because of the atmosphere. I mean, you got the old timers standing on the hill giving you absolute pelters. Just traditional junior football, brilliant. It's what you want, and try to bring that back to the club was massive. Like where teams are coming to Blairwood knowing that they need to work hard, they need to be better than us to take a point away at least, and that's been a massive difference this year compared to the last 2 seasons for us.
Yeah, and the league obviously looks very competitive. Obviously, just looking at it in terms of Armadale obviously sitting at the top, they with a really good start, and you look at Bathgate, West Calder. Obviously, we'll get to them in a minute, but
Yeah,
I'm looking between third and where you are in eighth. There's only 2 points between West Calder and yourselves, so
say we've got a game in hand. We've got a game
yes,
in hand
that's
over
right.
West
Yeah,
Calder.
yeah.
We obviously played them last week, and it's probably our best performance of the season away from home.
It certainly caught the
Um,
eye. I'm not going to lie.
it was just, to be fair, it was one of the games where I think whoever scored first was probably going to go on and win
Okay.
it. West Calder had a few chances. As I say, Blair made a few fantastic saves. Scotty Bruce had a few chances before he scores the first one, and you're like, is it going to be one of these days? Then when we scored the first goal, we just seemed to relax. Then our game kind of matured from there. We went and got the second goal just before half time. Then when we come out after half time scoring, I think it was about 3 minutes into the second half, it just put the game to bed, 3-0 up, absolute cruising. And again, you can't take your foot off the gas at this level, because one goal changes the game. So to go and get the fourth, it made us a wee bit at ease. in the dugout, shall we say, away from home. Then obviously West Calder scored late on, last kick of the ball. But overall, with the performance, I was absolutely delighted going away from home and scoring 4 goals, especially against a team that's been flying.
What about cups as well? Because like obviously the cups so far this season, how would you assess them?
So I think it was it the South Challenge Cup we played Wishaw over there. We drew 0-0. And to be honest with you, it was a cup that realistically we're not going to win. So the 2 cups that I was looking for a run in this year was the Alex Jack, where
Yeah,
we obviously got to the semi-final. Unfortunately, we got beaten penalties for Whitburn. Then you've got the King Cup, where I think we play Edinburgh United.
mm-hmm.
So that's December. That's scheduled in second round of the King Cup. So that's the 2 cups where I was looking to go on a wee run. Obviously, we beat Dunny Pace in the East of Scotland qualifying cup. So that's a wee cup where you're maybe want to go on a run as well. We've got St Andrews. I think it's next week actually. We've got St Andrews in the next round of that. So cups are good. They're a wee distraction for the league. But I think after the run that we had in the Alex Jack Cup, I think if we'd got to the final, I would have accepted that and went, right, that's us, let's focus on the league. But getting to that semi-final, it gives you the wee bit of hunger to go on and try and get another cup run. But my main priorities this year is to try and win promotion, to try and get us back up into that first division. I think that's realistically for the players that we've got just now. I think that's probably where we should be playing.
And it is a competitive league, isn't it? There's a lot of good sides in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The club's got ambition where they want to go back to the Premier League, but you look at the size of our village compared to some of the places that we play. I mean, you look at Coldstream. Coldstream's a massive place. They've probably got a good catchment area to get players. Probably where they train probably hinders them getting players where they play. But when you look at the size of our village and what we're competing against, like your Hallabeefs, your Crossgates, your Hillfield Swifts, it's difficult to try and attract players and try and get players. But at this moment in time, with the youth that's coming through and the experienced boys we've got, we're in a good place. We're in a good place. And it's just being realistic and playing at the right level.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And for me, we're probably at the right level this season, but we can improve and go on.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get your thoughts over the kind of when we get into the kind of second division games over the weekend. There's a couple that caught the eye. We'll head into talking about the kind of cup action over the weekend. Obviously, it was a free week for Oakley, but just looking at some of the cup results that caught the eye in the South Challenge Cup. A special mention to St Andrews United and Musselburgh. Musselburgh Athletic 4-3 away win over Bowness United. And St Andrews beating Hurlford 5-3 in the Challenge Cup. Obviously, that was the fourth round. I'm looking at it, I think they're the only two sides I can see that are going into the last 16, so congratulations to them. St Andrews obviously announced a new management team, former Dunfermline and Rangers, right back Greg Shields has taken over. So St Andrews and Musselburgh, 2 big results for them and great advert for the East.
Definitely. I mean, I know the previous manager at St Andrews, Gary Wright. I know him quite well. Gary was actually in as an assistant to me when I first came on the job at Oakley. So Gary's a top coach. Obviously, it didn't work out for him, but I think he's moved on. St Andrews have had a couple of decent results. It's always a difficult place to go. They're a decent side and look the ball about well. Obviously, Robbie Rayside was there prior to Gary taking over. And you look at him at Hallabeef, he's absolute flying.
Yes. He absolutely is. Obviously, that means that 2 sides go into the last 16. I don't think the draw's been announced yet. I think it is later on this week. Qualifying Cup, Dundonald beat Bathgate 2-1. We had Vale of Leithen, big result for them, obviously 6-3 away win over Kirkcaldy. The one that stands out straight away, Hillabead 4, Trinent 1. We've obviously mentioned Hillabead already and the job Robbie Rayside's doing. It's a massive statement win for them and one that will give them massive confidence.
So saying, I've watched Hallabeef a few times this season. Went and watched them pre-season, and they've got some cracking players there, some experienced players as well, which makes a massive difference. And when you're on a winning streak, you get that wee bit of luck. And when the bigger teams come, it's always hard for them because they'll make it a battle at their own park. I mean, it's a tight, narrow wee park. The spectators are on top of you. It's always enjoyed my time playing at Hallabeef. It was always one of the ones where it's a local derby and you're not made to feel welcome, that's for sure.
Obviously, Dunbar United beat University of Stirling 2-1 on Friday night. Whitehill Welfare beat Stonyburn 2-0. Berwick and Lithgow obviously booked their places as well. King Cup first round, Burnt Island beat Kennedy 3-2. Lochlower 1-7-6 in penalties against Crossgates after a 2-2 draw. In the first round at East Houses, Lily 4, Linton 1 in the first round. Second round, Heriot Watt 5, West Calder 2, and Leith 2, Edinburgh South 1. Any kind of results there catch your eye?
Heriot Watt, West Calder. So we played both of them this season. And to be honest, they're both decent sides. What I'll say about Heriot Watt is they're fit, really fit. So with that probably going to extra time, that's probably been the telling point for the West Calder lads. Big BJ that's there, top coach as well. Great guy off the park. And again, he's done well when you look at the players that's probably went senior for the Heriot Watt ranks. I think they've just one of the guys that's signed with Falkirk. I think he's joined the end of the season.
Yeah.
So it's good to see them doing well. They're always a pleasure to play against as well. So decent group of lads.
Yeah, absolutely. Heriot Watt are just really one of the eye-catching sides this season. We'll go into the games in the league over the weekend. We'll start with Sauchie 3, Pennycook 2. Sauchie were 2-0 up through goals from Gemmell and Simpson. Pennycook got it back to 2-2. And Ross Kavanagh scoring a late winner for Sauchie to give them a massive result, taking them off bottom of the league. We could probably spend a full hour talking about Sauchie's situation this season, but when you've had the cards they've been dealt so far this season, to get a tight win like that in a weekend where none of the other sides were playing, just to get that 3 points for where they've been. Yes, they're levelling points with all three at the bottom. I don't think they'll be there for much longer. I think they'll run up the league. And
definitely.
Just a boost, any sort of boost will be helpful to them.
I think the firepower that Sauchie's got, that'll see them through. They'll turn the corner. They'll be all right. I think they will be all right. Fraser's got a decent squad of guys behind them, and their coaching staff and that as well. They'll all stick together, and that's they've kind of been thrown a wee apple.
Yeah.
Let's see, it's a challenge. They'll take that as a challenge, and I can see them finishing mid-table, definitely.
Yeah, I think obviously the way the card they've been dealt, when you look at the way they started the season, obviously it was tough, and then to get the sanction they had, I know everything's kind of been resolved to a degree, just to get that boost as well. They'd a 3-2 win, just how tight it is. Pennycook deserve a lot of credit as well. They've actually been quite good this season considering the start, losing their manager early on. Two decent sides.
Pennycook's been through a few managers in the last couple of seasons. I know Callum Elliott was there, then obviously somebody else went in. I believe somebody else is in. So it's a hard transition for the players in that as well. So credit to both teams for playing the well.
Yep, and Haddington, they're already halfway through their season. 15 games they've played, sitting in fourth place. 1-0 home win over Edinburgh Uni. Owens with a goal. I think he's only 18. It's a massive goal for him. And I underestimated them. I've said that at the start of the season. I did think they would struggle. So they went way over my expectations. So fair play to them. Really good start for Haddington, and can alone may it continue. And again, you look at their record at home. It's been pretty good. You look at the results they've had. They've beat Sauchie at home. They beat Glenrothes in the first day of the season. Beat Tynecastle and now beating Edinburgh Uni. Their home record's pretty good, and they're getting there. It's
always a hard place to go, Haddington. I can mind they played them 2 seasons ago, home and away. They beat us by a goal, and it's a great park to go and play on as well down there. But they kind of come through Conference A. They won Conference A when we won Conference B.
Yeah.
And to be honest, they were a young side, so they're maturing and they're getting better every year. And that's one thing about the management team down there as well, is they'll give youth the opportunity. And you've kind of seen that with the young boys that's come through.
Absolutely. What do you make of that division this season? Obviously, Musselburgh sitting at the top. Hillaby, they've got games in hand. We've mentioned Jeanfield are up there, Whitburn. There's good sides. There's maybe a couple of sides who you think could be in a better position. Dunbar, maybe obviously looking at St Andrews as well. That's a really tight division. Who takes the early impression so far for you?
For me, it's Hillabeef. I think the start that Hillabeef's made is incredible, and if they can maintain that and keep going, you see that with the signings that they've made as well, bringing in experience, decent players. Scott Reekie coming in as well at centre half. They're shoring up at the back. They've got quality through the midfield, and their strike force is phenomenal. You've seen that with some of the recruitment that they've done in the summer there. So I think they'll not be too far away this season.
Yeah, it looks pretty good so far, and obviously some interesting games coming up over the next few weeks. In the first division, only one game to talk about, but it was a statement victory. Camelin obviously went clear at the top of the table, 3 points clear. 42 goals they've scored in 14 games, only conceded 5, 4-0 away win over Inverkeithing. Goals from McQuaid, McKenzie, Kirkpatrick, and Finlay. Camelin have got a lot of firepower, and when you're the only game of the weekend, you need to go and win, and they've won in impressive fashion.
100%. Camelin they've spent decent amounts of money, and the pressure's probably on to go and get results now, and they seem to be doing that. Every team that play against them, it's like a cup final, and I think I've seen that last week. Was it Leaf? Leaf beat them at Camelin.
Yeah.
And you see some of the celebrations after the game. You've seen it on Twitter and stuff like that, where you show how much it means to teams actually going there and getting a result. So it shows you the position that Camelin's in.
And you look at the results after, obviously they lost opening day against Heriot Watt, and then I'm just looking here, they've won 10 of the last 11 going into that Leith game, and then obviously lost to Leith, had a 0-0 draw last week with Blackburn, and then go and win 4-0 at Inverkeithing, which isn't an easy place to go. They're scoring goals, but they're not conceding many as well. As I say, they've only conceded 5. The clean sheets they're keeping as well. They just look a really good machine.
We played them last season, and at home we drew 3-3, but they scored 2 goals in the last 5 minutes, and it was kind of frustrating because you're winning 3-1 and you want to see the game.
Yeah.
Again, before the game you would have taken that because they were favourites to go up.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we played them last game of the season, they were just totally different team, dominated from start to finish, difficult place to go. And I thought then, like, they're going to kick on, they'll be the team to beat in that first division this season.
Yeah, I think they are. I think that league looks so competitive. You've got Newton Grange, Heriot Watt, Crossgates, Bo'ness, Thornton. There's a lot of good sides. Leith, Kirkcaldy, Blackburn. There's so many sides in that league that you can see. It's no like you're going to see many results where you're going to go that stungy.
There's a few hard places to go in that league as well. Like Lahore's a hard place to go.
Yeah.
No, wee James Adam really well, and like he always has the boys up for a battle. So if you're going to Lahore, you need to be at the top of your game to get points there as well. So
yeah,
it's a very competitive league, as you say. It's
no, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm looking at some of the games next weekend. Thornton play Bo'ness, Hamelin go to Crossgates, Heriot Watt, Blackburn. Like, you know what I mean? There's going to be every single weekend we'll be talking about big games that will have a major impact on the season. Second division, 2 games to talk about. I'm keen to get your thoughts on Coldstream, obviously. 4-2 home win over Dalkeith. Coldstream, I just want to run through their record over the past few weeks at home. 6-1 home win over Edinburgh College, 3-1 home win over yourselves, 4-1 home win over Burnt Island, and then 4-2 at home to Dalkeith. Like, at home, they had a really bad start at home, but now 4 in a row at home. Like we mentioned, obviously with Oakley, if you can use your home ground and win games, you're going to be up there.
For us, it was an hour and 40 minutes in the bus. We had a few boys missing. We went down there and we were probably the better team.
Okay.
We scored early doors, then we stopped. Then Coldstream they score and they keep going and they keep going. They went 2-1 up and we are absolute battering them. How we never scored again is beyond me. Then they go and they hit you with a sucker punch to win 3-1 and you're like, Kim, what? Credit where it's due. They don't stop.
Yeah.
And when I seen the result coming in on Saturday, I was actually at the Hart Hull Tweedmouth game on Saturday. Okay. We'll tell you about that. But Coldstream, when you look at the results that's coming in, Burnt Island the week before, Dalkeith there, difficult place to go, and they'll take points off anybody on their day. So
yeah, absolutely.
Thomas
Gray scoring all 4 goals for Coldstream. Lewis Russell scoring a double for Dalkeith. Like, Thomas Gray obviously has been really, really good to start the season for Coldstream, and one of those players that can be that kind of talisman. Dalkeith, what you made of them so far? Because they're quite hard. They're quite inconsistent.
We played them at home and they went 1-0 up. They were winning 1-0 at half time. Then we went 2-1 up. We scored 2 late goals and you think, right, that's it. We're going to see it at the line. Then I think we played about 8 minutes to injury time, and they scored with the last kick of the ball, and it was like, oh, dearie me, here we go. And it feels like an absolute sucker punch, but it's happened to us a few times this season where
Mhm.
away to Peebles, we concede two late goals, but then you beat Stirling United at home with two late goals, and
Yeah.
it goes in your favour. So, as I say, in that league, it swings and roundabouts, and you just hate to take your medicine at times and go, well, we done it the week before, so you can't really complain about it.
Yeah.
And Dalkeith's one of the teams as well where they'll fight right to the death.
Mhm. No, absolutely. I do think obviously Keith, like I'm saying they're inconsistent. Like they've had some kind of big results, like beating East House at home. They obviously won at Vale of Leithen. They've just been quite hard to really see. Like they had a great start. They beat Coldstream in the opening day 3-0 at home.
Yeah.
Like I'm really like they've got a couple of hard games coming up. Obviously, they've got three. The next three games are Armadale at home, West Calder at home, and then away to Bathgate. So if they can get out of that, and if they can
That'll
get
define their
results,
season, maybe. That'll
yeah,
define their season.
I think so. Yeah, and those are the games that they'll be challenging themselves because like they don't want to be, they won't be aiming for where they are at the moment. All it takes is maybe two or three wins, and they should be up the table. But I think a bit more consistency is probably where Dalkeith will be looking at. You obviously mentioned Harthill 2, Tweedmouth 2.
Yeah.
What was your kind of takeaways for that?
So I went there and watched Tweedmouth. Obviously, we had a free week and we played Tweedmouth in a couple of weeks. So it was just to kind of get an idea of how they play. They started off really well. Then Harthill score against the run of play. Then Harthill kind of dominated. Tweedmouth scored right on half time, which kind of changed the game a wee bit. They come out second half. Harthill then go in front, and Tweedmouth go down to 10 men. And you're like, right, Harthill's going to go on and win it. And Harthill kind of made four substitutions, which was quite strange because the big striker for Harthill was causing Tweedmouth all sorts of problems. And they brought the wee wire into the centre, and they never got any joy off the big centre half. Big centre half absolute ragdolled them a bit. And the wee striker that come on for Harthill gives away a silly foul with about a minute to go on the halfway line. Defender's going nowhere. Slides in, brings them down, and they put it in the box and they get a corner for it. And the big centre half goes on last kick of the ball, free header in the box, equaliser, and you felt like, wow, Harthill must feel how I was feeling last season. Um, doing everything right, but just can't get the result. So
Yeah, like Tweedmouth, I think. Like I remember last season, Tweedmouth's end of the season was absolutely excellent. This season, again, maybe similar to O'Keefe, just been a little bit inconsistent in key games, but they can score goals. Like their two away wins this season come 5-3 away to Edinburgh College and 4-3 away to Vale of Leithen. So they can score goals, but you look at the table, conceding them as well, I think it's the issue.
I think it's the distance that the boys are travelling as well. It depends what team's
Yeah.
turning up.
Yeah.
Again, some of the players at this level didn't want to travel, and I've kind of seen that myself with our squad.
Mhm.
You tell them you're away to Coldstream and you're leaving at half 10, 11 o'clock, and they're like, "Oh, I'm not available." And you're like, "Dear me."
Yeah. Hart Hill, obviously, quite a hard side to assess because, like, they're quite they've done really well get promotion this season, but we always did feel it would be a wee bit of a step up. But I'm
Yeah,
looking at their games as well. They can score goals as well. They've got a lot of good talent in attacking areas. It is just as
we
well
played them.
they've conceded a lot
We
of goals.
we played them early in the season. I think it was maybe the fifth game in,
Hmm.
fifth or sixth game in, and we beat them 1-0. And honestly, they were actually decent. They actually knocked the ball about really well. The big striker that was there for them caused all sorts of problems against their backline. I think Blair had a great save in the last minute of the game to keep us winning 1-0.
Yeah.
Um, and I actually thought for them, like Harthill will be up there,
Hmm.
probably competing. And again, they've maybe just not had that wee bit of luck. But you need a wee bit of luck.
Yeah.
Um, and kind of seen that on Saturday when you're in the bottom spots, every wee error gets punished. And that was kind of where it went on Saturday. You could feel it coming with them losing the goal right on half time, crucial time to lose a goal. Then in the last minute with the corner kick, you came for the corner. You're like, Tweedman's going to score here.
Hmm. Yeah. And again, like Tweedmouth, obviously, they've got some points on the board. Two going down in that division is going to be very interesting because I think you will see a lot of sides when they get to that kind of 20 point mark. might be at a stage where they're like, right, we're not really in danger of going down. We're not really in any danger of going up.
Yeah.
And you might see a bit of inconsistencies there, but I think it is just getting to that kind of figure. Like, I think the two going down is very, very fascinating in that division. Armadale obviously
Yeah.
out in front. You've not played them, am I right in saying?
We
But
played them at home. We drew 3-3.
drew
So
3-3. That's right, yeah.
we drew 3-3 at home. Unbelievable game.
Best side you come up against, Jink?
Aye. They knocked the ball about really well. Really well. They went 3-2 up, 86 minute. Then we score, I think it was the 88th to make it 3-3. And you're like, then they had a chance right at the end to go and win it again. And you're like, to be honest, if they'd said to us before the game, you're going to draw 3-3 with Armadale,
Yeah.
you would have snatched our hand off. And looking at the league table where they're sitting, I think it's only us. We're the only team to draw with them. Then I think
East
they
House has
lost
beat them
East
last
House's
game.
last week.
Yeah.
Aye. So, again, difficult team to play against.
Yeah.
And you'll have to be at your best to take points off them. So, that'll be interesting to see how it turns after Christmas. So,
Yeah, absolutely. I think that this kind of period for now to Christmas is going to be extremely interesting in that league. Like, two sides obviously coming up as well. West Calder, like, obviously beating them 4-1, but they've had a really good start. Like, they've scored a lot of goals. They've got a lot of attacking talent. But I think you're the only. I think East House has obviously beat them 2-0, but I think in every game but one, I think they'd scored more than two.
I think
So
they're going to be Stirling Uni. I don't know. That was in the cup or
Stirling
in the
Uni
league.
beat them
Beat them
5-1, yeah.
5-1.
Yeah,
But
Stirling.
again, looking at that, like West Calder are a decent side. They've got players with real quality. But what they lack is a wee bit of pace at the back.
Okay.
And I think that's we caused them all sorts of problems with the pace of Ryan Cowie and Scott Bruce. Then our wide players getting forward. Shea Bruff had a great game last Saturday, and it caused them all sorts of problems defensively. Where going forwards are a completely different animal. They've got quality all over the park. So if you can ride your luck and you can score against them, then it makes the job a wee bit easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you give them chances, then they will punish you. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Let's look at the third division. 3 games to talk about there. Obviously, Lochgelly holding a healthy lead of 8 points at the top of the table. Howick, Royal Albert, massive result for them. They were 2-1 down, getting into stoppage time away to Edinburgh United, and 2 late goals in stoppage time saw them win 3-2 away from home. If they do go up, which I know it's very, very early, but they're 14 games in on 24 points. If they do go up, they maybe look at this weekend and go, that could be a game-changing one.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's games like that that win your leagues, and I've seen that firsthand where we were away down to Preston, scoring a last-minute winner, and that probably defined our season,
Mm-hmm.
and it probably upset Preston because they were unbeaten up until that point.
Okay.
So games like that, although it's early in the season, the points could be massive for you come the end of it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And like obviously they were in set, they obviously go second with that win because Linton were playing in the cup. So massive, massive result. Fauldhouse, really good start for them as well. They won 1-0 away at Livingston United. Goal from Duffy with giving them a massive 3 points, puts them up to fourth. Fauldhouse have been pretty solid.
Aye, Falthouse have been decent. We played them in a friendly a couple of years ago, and they were a decent side. Knocked the ball about well. But I think for me, Legellie's looking decent. They've kind of built on what they built last year. They've kept a wee bit of experience in there as well. The boy Scott Russell's buying goals in for fun, and I think that's key. If you can keep players like that fit and keep them ticking there, Legellie will not be too far away this season, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, and thrilling game if you were at Pumperson. Pumperson 4, Edinburgh Community 4. Hat trick for Craig Johnson, double from Tayo for Edinburgh Community. Obviously, that means Pumperson are in 5th, Edinburgh Community are in 10th. Like, Pumperson, they can both score goals. Edinburgh Community have conceded a lot, but Pumperson, fairly solid so far. 7 draws for 15 games.
I'm saying nothing.
Like,
we've 7 for 18.
but as Matt, like when you look at the kind of games they've had, the draws they've had, like the 4-4 against Howick, 3-3 Edinburgh United, 2-2 with Lochgelly, 4-4. Like again, it's there's a common denominator here. They're scoring, but they're conceding as well. And
That's things.
I think a lot of teams doing that.
it's in the manner that you concede as well. That could be
Yeah,
the frustrating point, because there's been games this season, like Peebles away, we are 2-0 up with a minute and a half to go. 2-0 up, and you should be coming away from there absolute jubilant, and you didn't. You come
no,
away with a point, and you're like, how? It felt like a defeat. And it's probably frustration everywhere else. But when it goes for you, because we've done the same against Kennedy at the start of the season, first game of the season, we scored 2 goals in a minute to draw 2-2, where it looks like you're getting nothing out of it. And it does. It's draws can be massive for you, but then on the other hand, they could absolutely frustrate the life out of you.
yeah. And that's the eye catching thing as well. It's like when you've got a league that's so tight like that, when there's only 11 teams basically, and like the kind of three that have come down are not doing great. Like
Yeah.
Ormiston, Newbury, Edinburgh United, they've all had kind of slow starts. And you look at the likes of Linton, who everybody I spoke to in the east of Scotland said give them a season just to get their foot in the door, and they'll really show how good they are, and they have.
They signed a few decent players
Yeah,
that's played at a decent level. I think they signed the big boy Dan Gregg for Dalkeith centre
yes, they
half.
have. Yeah,
So they've kind of added a wee bit of experience into their team, and they'll be one to watch because nobody really knows them.
hmm
So you're turning up and you're playing against an unknown team. It can cause you all sorts of problems.
yeah.
Where the likes of Newborough and Ormiston, they've been there for a wee while, so you kind of know what you're getting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think there's some very, very interesting games coming up this weekend. I just want to run through some of the eye-catching games across the four leagues. You look at the Premier Division, you've got Genefield, Musselburgh. I think there'll be a lot. I think that'll get a really good crowd. Whitburn, Pace is interesting as well. First Division, we mentioned Thornton, Bowness, Crossgates, Camelin, Blackburn, Heriot, Watt. Second Division, Oakley, Vale of Leithen. We'll get to that in a minute. Dalkeith, Armadale, Edinburgh College, Bathgate, and you've also got West Calder, Peebles. Third Division, Lochgelly, Edinburgh Community, Edinburgh United, Linton, Howick, Newborough. I mean, there's some really good games. Oakley, Vale of Leithen. Like I obviously Vale of Leithen coming off a really good result at the weekend. They've had some cup success. They've had similar to Oakley to a degree, like obviously a couple back-to-back relegations. I would say Oakley obviously have been far more stable this season, but have been compared, just have been kind of grouped together by some people. How important is Saturday to really kind of make a statement against them?
It's massive, and I said that to the boys. Obviously, we knew that they never had the game on Saturday there, and I said that to them last week at training. I said next Saturday is massive. It could be the biggest game of the season.
Yeah,
Pressure's on me because Vale of Leithen's the only team that I've got a 100% record there.
yep,
Sort of the last 2 seasons, we've beat them both games, so we know what we're getting with them. They always make it difficult. They always make it difficult. Then looking at the result on Saturday there, away to Kirkcaldy, know the easiest of places to go, and they've put 6 past them. So, we are.
remember them beating and Benburn behind the beat. Benburn they beat
Aye,
the South, so
so
they can
they've
do it.
definitely they've turned a wee corner, and
Yeah,
it depends what team turns up. That's what you're up against. And to be honest, if we're at it, we apply ourselves the way we can apply ourselves. I don't know if you're anybody in the league,
yeah,
but you need to be at it every game. That's the problem with the majority of teams at this level. It's the inconsistency that kind of kills you.
yeah. And obviously after that, two league games before the end of the year, home to Tweedmouth, away to East Houses. Get that kind of new year turnaround. How important is it to be having a positive record going into that kind of turn of the year?
Oh, it's massive. So I've said to the guys, let's be in a position where we're in the promotion spots come Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
then we can reevaluate and see where we are. But to be honest, Scott, with the start of the league, what we've had has been night and day for the last 2 years.
Yeah,
We're in a great position. Although the league table doesn't look like it, I mean, if we win our game in hand, you go to third, the league table looks a
yeah,
lot better. You look at it now, you're
yeah.
sitting in eighth. It doesn't look too great with the draws and that we've had. But if somebody had said that to me before the season had started, this is where you're going to be 3 games before Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
you would have bit their hand off.
Yeah,
So, the next 3 games are crucial for us. And as I say, 2 of them's at home. We've got a great record at home. We want to keep that going. And if we can get to Christmas unbeaten at home, I'll be absolutely delighted. I'll take that as my Christmas present now.
absolutely. Peter, I cannot thank you enough for coming on the show, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. Best of luck for the rest of the season. It's been a real joy to have you on.
Top man. Appreciate it, mate.
Very much.
Cheers,
And
buddy.
thank you very much to everyone that's tuned in. Please follow us on social media for more East of Scotland coverage. And as always, like and share and subscribe to the YouTube and podcast channels. Thank you very much.